Whether they're doing a trick in the air or grinding on a rail, these skaters are having a blast. MHS News went to Sylvan Springs Skate Park near the Jefferson Barracks National Cemetery to learn more about student skating culture. Sophomores Sebastian Armstrong and Zach Watkins have both skated for several years.
When I first started, it took me 6 months to learn how to ollie, which is like the basic jumping on your board and having it go up with you. And then I just skated every single day after school. After that, I just learned that you have to kind of feel out a trick to learn it.
What really got me into it is my dad. My dad was a skateboarder and all of his friends were skateboarders, and I really wanted to connect with my dad more. Whenever I first started skateboarding, I started skateboarding on a penny board, which is like a small little skateboard, and I could barely go like 10 feet without falling off, and I've really progressed. I really didn't think I was going to get this far in skateboarding.
While Sylvan Spring is one of the closest skate parks to MHS, it's still a half-hour away. The skaters explain their frustrations with having no local skate parks.
I find it unbelievably just dumb that skate parks are so far away, because where all the people are is where the skate park should be.
It's really stupid. I usually go and find any place to skate around my house, and I went out going maybe 6 miles just to find a skate spot, and I'd skate it for like 4 hours and then skate home.
But to them, it's all worth it.
You just take a skateboard and most people think you just ride on it. A normal person couldn't go off a 25 stair just running and jumping. Just doing that, it's unimaginable to a normal person. But somebody's done that, that's crazy.
Gives you the biggest adrenaline rush you're probably ever going to get in your life, and it just it gives you the biggest sense of accomplishment, that knowing that you can do these tricks down and over things, and it just feels great.
On October 12th, MHS faculty had the option to attend a panel led by students about cultural norms as part of their required professional development.
So we decided to plan this as part of the professional development committee because people had questions about it. People had questions about students and their experiences here at Marquette, as well as just their experiences as part of non-dominant cultures. So I'll start off just by talking a little bit about what kinds of pressures are put upon people as a result of not being part of these non-dominant cultures.
Students provided insight on what it is like to attend MHS as a racial or religious minority.
In school, especially with different classes, I feel like I'm expected to exert myself more to prove that I actually do belong.
Obviously not a day goes by without me thinking about how others will perceive me just because of the way I dress.
They expect me to be aggressive or ghetto or whatever stereotype they have for a black woman, because they don't really have that here.
Be ready for just whatever is going to be thrown my way regarding my race, or what I have to prove and stuff like that, and how I talk and how I act towards other people.
Health teacher Christopher Elledge shared his takeaway from the panel.
If you want racism gone, you got to teach it. The only way this stuff's going to get better is if we teach about it. If we don't teach about it, and that was something that I thought was interesting that I bet a lot of people didn't catch, and I'm sure they did in a sense, but we need to know from the people, not other people telling about the people, to really understand it. But that doesn't happen until we teach it in schools from the beginning. It's never going to change.
Senior Balkis Abdelbaset explains how she feels when people ask questions about her religion.
I definitely don't find questions offensive. That's just a big thing I go by, just ask questions, because it's always better to ask me a question than to assume. I just love the way it just makes me feel so good, and it makes me feel like I'm actually worth your time to you actually come up to me and ask me a question about my culture, which I'm obviously really proud of, and my religion. So it just makes me feel really happy about myself. It makes me happy for the human race, that they're actually asking questions instead of assuming things about me. And I just want to tell people we're not dangerous. We're normal human beings. Just because we look different doesn't mean we don't have feelings, and just show empathy towards people, basically.
The Fashions 1 classes had a little extra help making baby blankets during their sewing unit. While she may look like your average little old lady, Carol Splater is far more than that. For the past 18 years, Splater has been the coordinator of Charity, a group of women that distributes around 15 to 20 tons of fabric each year to over 200 clients.
A group of women got together to share fabric with each other because they all had too much. But the problem is that we always went home with more than we came with. And so we decided to start giving it away, and we looked for places that would take it.
Charity specifically donates to clients who use the fabric to make charitable donations to those in need. Even though these students have plenty of fabric to work with, Splater explains that this isn't the case everywhere.
Fabric stores are closing, and so they had no place to buy things anymore, and it was too expensive. So we've kept a lot of sewing groups going with our donations. It's all free. We don't charge for anything, and we don't pay for anything.
The blankets will be donated to the St. Louis chapter of the Assistance League, a nonprofit organization that provides services to women and children. And while they are for others, the end product certainly gives back to everyone involved. Teacher Susie Hamlin explains what the project teaches students.
Well, it teaches them to think outside of themselves. And when Ms. Splater was here talking with the kids, they were pretty excited about hearing it was going to be for babies and got excited about the fabric. I think it opens up their eyes to that there's needs out in the community. Sometimes we get a little isolated no matter where we live, not realizing that there's people out there who don't have the things that we take for granted.
The students definitely understood that sentiment.
It's just to give back, and you learn from it. It's self-beneficial in the way that you learn from it, but it's really just like you're giving back anyways.
And as for Carol,
my favorite parts are when I get to see the results. I love seeing these kids excited about sewing. I just love it, and that's the key to it.
She is at the door every morning, and she greets us when we come in from the parking lot, and she's always like saying some funny thing, like she's always ready for the weekend. She's just a great person and has a great personality.
But who is Monique Johnson?
Everybody know I'm a social butterfly. I like to talk. I love to talk. I like to sit down and have a conversation, you know, and hopefully words of encouragement will come in that conversation. I don't know what anybody's going through at home. Nobody knows what I go through. So I want to motivate people to do better and to keep pushing and to keep going. Because there's been times in my life where I didn't want to, but I had somebody to motivate me. There's no limit on anybody's position, title or not. Title's nothing but a word to me. It's only right for me to help my young ones keep going and making it better for themselves and others. I do it out of love.
Johnson explains one of the main motivations for her kindness.
I have two sisters. I have an older sister and I have a younger sister. My oldest sister lives down Kerr's Mill. My youngest sister lives in Oakland, California. And it's treasured. And if people don't treasure it, I wish they would, because you never know when you might lose someone.
Members of the MHS community talk about Johnson's character.
She comes up to my lunch table sometimes too, and just like, have a good weekend and like stay safe and do all that thing.
She's really nice. That makes my day, seeing her in the morning, telling me good morning and all that.
Even the people who don't have the most impactful jobs that you would think that they would be, she's still there. She's always wanting to have people be smiling.
Well, Miss Johnson has tremendous energy, as anyone that has ever talked to her knows. And every time you walk away from Miss Johnson, you feel better about yourself, just because she pours into you and makes you feel like you're special. And to me, her love and passion for our students here is just outstanding. Absolutely, we need more Monique Johnsons in this world.
Shortly after MHS News interviewed her, Johnson won the Cornerstone Award for a vital contribution to the Rockwood School District.
These are my kids. These students are my babies.